just was texting with a buddy of mine in southern Ontario, no matter what city. Paul Lawson, this one's for you, brother. Oh, man. I got to turn up my microphone. Oh, sorry, guys. Man, that was like a huge hit. You know it's Kush when it's called Ultra Kush. Alright, I don't know how to figure out how to turn up the microphone yet, so I'll just have to speak a little louder. I gotta figure out where I gotta go. Okay, here we go. Come on, man. Get back to the mission. There we go. Oh, I think I just froze to death. Oh man, that sucks. I was too busy hitting the ball. Alright. Oh yeah. Here we go now. I went to a different camp because I kept losing. So I'm in a different part of the country now than I was in my last broadcast. Seconds until I can use him again. 57 seconds. So I got it down to a minute. My cat with me. I went through 3 cats last night. That's work. I was up until like fucking, I don't know, 2:45 this morning. And this guy, the saber-toothed tiger, he just came out of nowhere, man. He's huge. Like, I thought this cave lion was big. No, man, not even close. Makes the cave lion look small. Who would have thought back in the days of pinball, when we used to stick the pinball machine on our steel toe boots? Remember that at John Baez Park? Oh, you can hear me. That's cool. Yeah, yeah, man. Steel toes. Remember that? And we used to cheat. We thought that was cool. Man, this makes that look like. Could you imagine? Like, my son has no comprehension, and if you look at my profile, it even says that I've been a gamer since back in the days of Pong. I remember that, man, playing Pong thinking that we were really cool. And now look at what they got. Oh. Okay. Now I'm gonna set this on fire. It says I gotta burn the hole. Yeah, man. And then the ColecoVision. I remember we were cool. We had that. That was when Genesis came out. But my parents and my brother and I stayed up. I don't know. It had to be 2:30 in the fucking morning. And he tried to figure it out, and he was getting angry because he was the smart one. But I was the one that actually got to work. It was funny. And then we stayed up till frickin' 5 o'clock in the morning playing it. My parents came down because they heard a noise. And it was me and Mike playing the ColecoVision. And the whole family, like, we were just in awe of it. My parents didn't quite understand it. Took them a while. But my mom and Mike played this game called Ladybug, which was kind of like a Pac-Man type game. Yeah, I was thinking about her. She passed on 2002, a year after the towers, on October 28th. And I think about her sometimes. And I was remembering about being at the park, and me and you, remember our jean shorts that went up to your fucking ass, like right up to the crotch, man. And you were like cut. And I was too, but not like you. And they used to call you Tarzan. Oh man, them were the days. I was thinking about that the other day. I was trying to convey it to my son. Score! And he doesn't understand. He asked me, when he was a little boy, he asked me one day what kind of computer I had. And I said, oh, I happen to have one upstairs. And he goes, like, seriously? I go, yeah, I kept one. Just, for, you never know. I said, historical. I said, it's called posterity. And I taught him the word posterity, right? And we went upstairs, and I grabbed a pencil and a paper, and I handed it to him, and he goes, what's this? I said, well, the paper is your user interface. I said, and the pencil, that's your input, and your eraser is the delete key. He didn't get it. I almost pissed my pants laughing. Hang on, you sent me a photo. Yeah, that's it, brother. Yeah, man. That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, exactly. Them are the days, man. I don't mean to bring it up, but remember when you burnt your leg and you spent that summer on crutches? Fuck, man, we smoked a lot of weed. Holy shit, brother. Fuck, man. That's like my buddy Andrew Highland in England. I posted something. I know, you look pretty good, man. I see pictures, man. I look. Trust me, I check out people's profiles, but I'm more of a, I developed into what they call a people watcher. I have some serious people watching skills. And I try to explain to my son, like, you know, I test out something like 0.1% of the population in intelligence, and oh, I'm gonna drown, man. I'm gonna, come on, I'm panicking. Oh, I'm blacking out. Oh, I'm panicking. Ah, fuck. Ah. But, you know, and my thing is memory and patterns, and I remember so much. It's like a movie in my head, and I see it sometimes, and I describe to him like what it was like when I was a teenager, and I always refer back to John Bayes Park, and I said, and this guy said, one of my best friends in the world at the time, I said, was Lawson. And he goes, who? I go, Paul Lawson. I said, you know, I didn't give him any other identifying details, so don't worry. Your identity's always safe, you know. But, because I always refer to you by your last name. And I always speak highly of you anyways, you know, and he knows that you're a big part of my childhood, like thinking, you know, like gay. And I said, no, I said, it's like when you smoke, I said, it's an honor to smoke somebody their very first time. I said, and he's an old school stoner. I said, and I hate that word. I said, but I said, that's what we were. That's what we called it, you know, back in the day. I said, and it was an honor to smoke somebody their very first time. I said I was pretty young. I said I was probably about 12 or 13. He was about 15. I said something like that. I said I might have been older. He might have been younger or older. I said I don't really remember. I said I know he was a couple years older than me. I said, but we developed this kinship, like a brotherhood, because we were the younger brothers of the cool kids at the camp, the older, the teenagers. And I said I used to get cluster headaches, and I explained to him that I was eating aspirin and they were called C2s, and they had 2 milligrams of codeine in them, and my mom used to buy them, and I was eating them like they were fucking Smarties, and I remember asking you specifically that day, would it help my headache, and because you wanted to go and smoke a joint. And I was always cool, like, you know, it never bothered me. And because I was always around your older brother, or your brother Terry and my sister, and like you, I was a tag along. And because Karen and I don't talk anymore. None of my brothers and sisters talk to me. My daughter doesn't talk to me. My wife cannot, or my ex-wife cannot talk to me by law. I can have her arrested if she even mails me, which she did a couple of years ago. She sent me something in the mail. I wanted her arrested, but you know, it comes down to what's in the best interest of your children. So I just had the police warn her, and they did. And anyways, but I told my son, and he didn't talk to me. It's just in the last, I don't know, several years that, if you look back at my timeline, I was doing that the other day, but it's only in the last 5 odd years that my son and I have really become close, and now he's like, I mean, he's my best buddy in the world, and he's what my father never could be, you know, for whatever reason, and I don't want to get into that, but anyways, I said, yeah, Lawson smoked me my first time. I said, and it's an honor, like, it truly is, among old school smokers. I said, because the object is not to get the person so wasted that it's not a good time. I said, you know, and you didn't lie to me, because you said, I don't know if it'll help the pain, but it'll make you feel better, and you'll relax. And I did, and it did. And that started me down a road that, you know, ultimately, through no fault to anybody, I don't point no fingers, but I ended up addicted to butorphanol, which is because of my headaches, not because of smoking marijuana. And I got really dry mouth. But and I beat that using marijuana. I didn't go on methadone. I don't believe in methadone. I believe that if you're an addict, no matter what your poison, you got to learn how to stop taking the poison and change poisons. It's okay to use poisons. You know, we've been using them for over 20,000 years that we can find proof of. So you got to know it's at least 50,000 years, right? And we've been around for about 250,000 years. And there's still things that we're learning from the people that live in the fucking Amazon. But we're so ignorant, you know, like when my mom was dying, I begged them to give her heroin. And they said, we can't do that. I said, why? And they said, because she'll become an addict. And I said, she's fucking terminal, man. And they said, you know, the rules are the rules. And I wanted to punch the fucker in the head. And after my mom died, it took me a long time to come to terms with it. And I spoke to my doctor about it at great length. And I've spoken to my son about it, because I've made it very clear that I will not, if it comes down to it, I will not do chemo or radiation. I watched my mom go through it, man. It bought her, what, an extra 3 months of shitty life? Fuck, big deal. I'd rather go out on my own terms with a bit of dignity, doing what I enjoy. And I have a bottle that I've accumulated of, we'll just say, various substances. And it's my version of a hot shot, you know. And because even in the hospital, I begged the doctors there to give her a hot shot, or leave it somewhere where I can get it, and I will administer it. I said there'll be, you know, this came out afterwards, but yeah, I had many private conversations with my mom. I knew my mom was terminal before my father. I knew my mom was terminal before my mother. Anyway, back to the game. But I digress. But I've even said to my son, because he's 19, he's never drank, he's never smoked weed. He's a fucking real goody-goody. He's a virgin, you know, like, and he's everything that I wasn't. Now my daughter, who hates my guts and doesn't talk to me is every bit of her father in that regard. And she, you know, she smokes weed and she drinks and she was, you know, she's got piercings and she got a tattoo. I got her eyebrow pierced when she was 15, and my wife sued me for custody because of it. Fucking cunt. And, sorry, Kyle, if you ever watched it. You know, but, and then she turned around, and when my daughter was 15, she let her get this fucking shoulder tattoo, which really pissed me off. I thought, you fucking hypocrite. But, again, but I digress. And, actually, that, Ultra Kush is pretty ultra, I'll tell you that, man. Not like back in our day, Paul. Remember buying, like, I remember you showed me, I was really interested in it after I smoked it. I became really interested in the substance, and I'll tell you, brother, I can clone. I'm self-taught, and my success rate of cloning is 98%. I'm that good. And I grow it old school. I call it hydroponically, but in soil. Like, I grow it in dirt, but I grow it hydroponically. And I have over 25 years experience. I created my own strain. And when my wife and I split up, obviously I destroyed it and got rid of all my grow equipment. I was so paranoid. And she did. She brought it up. She accused me of doing narcotics every day. And I admitted in open court that I did. And produced a note from my doctor because her mistake was that she said I used to, that I was narcotics every day. And I had a letter from my doctor stating which narcotics I used on a daily basis under prescription. And then I demanded that she get a follicular hair test, which was never allowed. And she denied, but I had an email from my daughter, so that's how I ended up getting a fucking restraining order against her, which really fucking pissed her off. And I called Children's Aid, and they raided her house, man. But she somehow got wind of it, and my kids lied, and you know, I understand, and it's cool. It's gone, it's past, it is what it is. And my son and I have discussed it, and he understands my reasoning. I mean, you know, yesterday's history, tomorrow is a mystery. What'd you say here, Paul? Twist, yeah, and that tie stick, fuck, man, yeah. Oh, do you remember fucking, getting on that subject, you had a bag of weed, and it was mostly, quote unquote, flower tops. And you said to me, the flower tops are the best. You got it off of Hardy. And that was a story in and of itself. But anyways, remember he pushed you in the lake over it? Oh, fuck. And I felt so bad because, you know, I was the one that said something to him. It was innocent, brother. I never sold you out. But anyways, but at least he didn't beat you up, because I fucking would have been really pissed off. But anyways, you showed me these flower tops that you got off of my party, and I always remembered that, and because most of the shit we smoked was leafy crap. All right, man, cheers. I didn't mean, you know, no harm, no foul, brother. It was innocent. I was young and stupid, And I have since learned that when you smoke, man, you don't say nothing about anybody's shit ever. You never question, you never comment. You shut your fucking mouth, you smoke the bowl, and, you know, life carries on. Where'd you get it? I don't know. I found it. You know, that's, you know, to this day, when I got busted with cocaine, I never sold out to nobody. And I could have taken down some serious people because I had connections through the airport. Yeah, we'll just won't go there. But I ended up saving a cop's life, so they wrote a letter to the court on my behalf saying that I intervened on a cop's behalf, and the guy was trying to get his gun. He was high on, of all things, PCP, which is something that, you know, I experimented with other stuff, you know, cocaine. I've smoked heroin. I've never injected. I was never into methamphetamine, and that to me, that was a dirty drug. I got into more like opiates, prescription, because you know, laboratory purity. I didn't want something made in somebody's fucking bathtub. And that's the way that I always looked at it. If somebody made that in their bathtub, I ain't doing that, man. You know? And if the guy isn't smoking what he's selling, I don't want none of that. You know? And, of all things, the guy I get it off of is like 58 years old, like your grandfather, you know? And, he's a kind old man, and you would never, people that I introduced him to, always say, like, I would never have known. And I said, exactly. I said, why do you think that I took, you know, like, I would at first get it from people, but I would, and then, you know, my buddies like, just tell him, you know, call me direct. And it's like, I don't know, man. You know, I don't talk people's names, addresses, phone numbers. I don't do that shit. And I respect that. And anyway, he said it was cool, so I did. Ooh, campfire discovered. I hooked up my downstairs neighbor, and he's like 27 or 28. And that's the first thing he said to me. He goes, fuck, man, I would never. I said, exactly. Because we sit there sometimes in the nice weather. My buddy will come over and we'll sit out on the porch and shoot the shit for an hour or so. You know, we do business, and then, you know, we never smoke together. Because that's just, you know, just the way that, you know, you do business. And we're very discreet, obviously, and but you would never know, and we like it that way. But he gets some fucking kick-ass shit. I used to buy it here and there off this other guy, and I ran into him because we used to live together at this rooming house that I managed, and he was really cool. And he said to me, oh, I got a buddy, man. So I took a chance and bought a half quarter off him one day. You know, I took a chance. He smoked me a couple times, and I thought, well, we get some pretty good shit. And so he used to buy it for me here and there, spotty. And I ran into him last summer walking up the street towards where I live now. And I don't know, for some reason, I hadn't seen him in years, and for some reason when I saw him, I kept calling him Richard. I don't know why, because he looks to me like a Richard, and that's not his name, but we'll call him that. I gotta feel him. And yeah, I hooked up him, but he gets some really good fucking shit, and he delivers, and because I've known him for so long, he always gives me a good count. He knows that April is my birthday, so he gave me a really good count. He fronted me $60, and then I called him last night, or yesterday afternoon actually, and said, hey brother, can you hook me up with number 4? And I said, remember it's my birthday, be nice to me. And he laughed. He said, aren't I always? And he's from Barbados, so he's got kind of an accent. And he's white, and he's the coolest guy, and he's so intelligent. He's like, I thought I was smart until I met him. Like, he's that smart that, you know, we had some really serious, heavy conversations, you know, about the Akhenaten and, you know, some really, you know, beginnings of humanity and the development of, you know, cultures and, yeah, serious intellectual shit. And, like I say, what's going on, man? You would never know. But he always said to me, you know, to him it's like, you know, it's part of his culture. And he never calls it what it is. He calls it herb. And he's got me to, instead of calling it weed, which is a derogatory because it's not, you know, to view it what it is. It's an herb, and I use it for sacrament and, you know, for enlightenment, you know, which is why we humans experiment with MPs. And I was watching a show the other day. This guy was taking DMT. Not DMT, I mean, in its natural form, from this ayahuasca or something like that in the South American medicine. The shamans drink it to see what's wrong with you. And, you know, it's been known to usually cause real serious paranoid psychosis, so that's why it's a banned substance. But the way that it's made, and I mean, it's not just the drug, you know, it's set and setting. Exactly. You're right, man. It's in our brains. It's in, you know, and all you're doing is flooding your system. But it can, you know, because I smoke for similar reasons. I take prescription. My doctor won't write me a prescription for cannabis, like cannabis, the whole smoke leaf. But he will. He actually has. I have a prescription for Nabalone, which is synthetic THC, and he's cool with that. But you know, and he supports me smoking, you know, because if you're on disability or any kind of assistance to get in car, yeah, exactly. Well, the doctor said that. I'm pissing off the fucking. I don't want to like that. Man, it's too big. Fuck, sorry, buddy. I'll have to fucking reincarnate you. But yeah, you know, ooh, that fucking. That's a saber tooth, man. I'm fucking dead. I'm dead. Fuck. As soon as I seen him, I'm dead. But yeah, this shit that they use, the guy said that he could see patterns around people, and after the guy took the medicine, he said the guy's had like vertical lines, and the girl. I know, I'm long tooth. I fucking could go on for hours. That's my son and I talk for like 2.5 hours sometimes. But he said that that experience was really positive. And I just found out that ibogaine, or the iboga plant, is not regulated in Canada. So I had approached my doctor about this a couple years ago, and you got to look it up. It's called ibogaine, and it comes from the bark of the iboga tree, which comes from, I believe, Cameroon. And I was looking up sources and everything, and it's not too expensive, but it's unregulated in Canada, so I can buy it legally. It's like peyote. Most Canadians don't realize that it's legal to use peyote. Mescaline is illegal, but peyote is not, and neither is the iboga bark. So I'm going to open up a drug treatment clinic using the iboga treatment, and because my son actually wants to be an entrepreneur. Exactly. Well, that's what they do. Is they take the root bark, they dry it into a powder, and then they snort it like cocaine. And oh man. And you get this really. It's said to be about twice as strong as LSD, but it's natural, right? And it's supposed to be a really kind of a like serious, like Alice in Wonderland kind of a trip, like so it's recommended that a doctor be around. It has some serious health concerns, which is again it's not regulated because it's natural and being part First Nations, I get away with it, no problem. But all Canadians have that right to these entheogenic substances. And one of the side effects is that addicts, doesn't matter whether it's opiates, cocaine, crack, heroin, which is an opiate, methadone, alcohol, any kind of like substance, when you come down off of the ibogaine, which is usually it can vary between 6 to 16 hours, depending on the dose and the purity. But you are no longer physically addicted to anything. You're psychologically addicted, but there's no withdrawal, there's no, kicks, there's none of that. The earth heals itself, and because Western society is so fucking run by big corporations, big pharma doesn't want to use it, which is why it's banned in the United States. Because they're afraid of it, and the DEA, the justice system, big pharma. I mean, addiction treatment centers. Think about it, methadone. Once you're on that, you're on it fucking for life, and basically you're just substituting one drug for another. You don't want them to be on that street poison. You want them to be on your pure, basically heroin. Watered down heroin. And you keep them at a maintenance dose, and that's bullshit. The idea is to get off of it. I know this young girl that's been on it for like 7 or 8 years now. She was addicted to fucking opiate painkillers for and almost 30 milligrams of hydromorphone a day, every day, every single day. And that usually keeps me okay. Plus I take 6 milligrams or 6 fucking muscle relaxers a day, But I also try and smoke as much pot as I can. And when I do, I don't use as many painkillers. Which is why my doctor's cool. Plus I because of the headaches and other shit, I don't sleep like most people. I'm lucky if I get about 2 hours. If this is a young guy, I'm going to see if I can do it. Because there's some, the young ones, I've learned how to ride. I gotta fucking get to the top of it. Place up. Let's see where I gotta go. That's how you fucking do it, man. That's what I want. Dishwalla. How do I do it? Oh wow, he fell. Sorry, dude. I gotta somehow. Oh, I'm going the right way now. There's the other way. Yeah. I know, I got, well, when you find the bigger ones, that's what they do, they stampede you. But at least now, I got a chance if I fucking run into that, what do you call it? The fucking saber-tooth, man. I don't stand a chance against him. Every time that I've gone near him, he's killed me. Well, not that I could avoid it. He's hurting me. Oh, fuck. I fucked up. I gotta go here, man. How did I get in the fucking off track? No, it's not buffering, it's shaking because he doesn't really want to go where. I wish he could feel it. Because it's a controller shake. You run into shit and then you get hit and you feel it in your hand. The first time I ever felt when they first brought out the Nintendo had it. It was one of the first companies to bring out the vibrating controllers. Oh yeah, man, look at that. Yeah. I love that. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm gonna fucking just have to kill people. I get like an 8% bonus here. I haven't, like, there's a lot of shit I haven't updated, but I've upgraded the right thing. It's calculated. my hunter vision. Oh yeah. Run fast as you can. Get you. Bring that down. He's some serious. Yeah. Sorry, man. He hates people. He's a valuable prize. Hollow. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. That was serious prize. That's the second one of them I've killed. I got smoked by about 4 of them before. I finally learned how to kill them. Yeah, man, we had some good times. Respect. I have a buddy of mine on Facebook by the name of David. You may remember him, young David Baker from the trailer park, and I smoked him his very first when he was 13, and it was at John Bayes Park. We were out at, you remember the Makeout Mansion, and it was either there or at the Big Tree. I can't remember, but it was at one of those two places. And, you know, he's had some issues with substances, alcohol, when he was younger. We all went through our problems. Really, alcohol, I finally learned alcohol, and that's cool. I do take serious opiates on a daily basis, but I don't abuse it, which is weird. But if you put a bottle of porcelain, I'm killing. Yeah, you put a bottle of porphenol in front of me, and you know, I'd be like fucking a mouse. Yeah, there's a valuable skin too. Don't you fucking hate. Alright, I scored it out of the right here. My inventory, even if I die. Oh, don't die, man. Like I said, you gotta find a poison that you're not immune to, first off, but you're not addicted, like you don't have a problem with. And I don't have a problem with any of my other pain meds, and I've been on them for several years, and I actually, my doctor refused at first, even after I had my legs dressed, and which put me on disability, because I had a problem with opiates, and, once it was shot. Alright, brother. Catch up to you, man. Be good, behave, man. Check out my other... I'm going to be playing for a while, so I'm going to take a break in a little bit and visit Chocobo again. LOL. And that'll be in your honor. And, Peace out, brother. I'll catch you, man, on the flip side. My buddy Paul. And then goes in fucking... Holy fuck. Since I was like 11. Do you remember when you did that wall tote outside the small hall? I'll never forget that, man. I tell people about that and they don't believe me. They're like, what was the purpose? I said, well, it was like you'd get a super toke, right? And you have to explain what that is to these young kids because they don't fucking, they smoke these fucking huge blunts, which to me is like $40 worth of weed. Like, are you insane? Like, you don't need to smoke that much, man. If I got to roll a joint that big, like, remember our one papers? That's what I smoke now, and have for a long time. Even my now ex-wife. She never learned how to roll, but that's what we always, had. That's what we smoked together. And if you got like the ones that your brother taught me, Mike Hardy taught me how to roll, and it's a skill it is a skill that's passed down, and it sounds kind of weird, but I kind of wish I could teach my son. Exactly, it is a waste. Like, if I gotta smoke that much weed, either there's something wrong, which there is obviously, or you're buying the wrong shit. Like, I smoked my neighbor downstairs. I filled the bong, and went downstairs after he moved in, and a couple days later, a week later, something like that, and I said, come on, man, your kids are sleeping, good, why? I go, smoke a wall. And he was kind of nervous at first. That's it, man. Exact. That's what we used to do, and I try and teach people the old school rules, like if you look on the internet, I post it sometimes. Whoops, I don't want to sleep. I post it sometimes, but there's rules, like, you never insult another guy's swag, like, whatever he brings to the table, as long as he's contributing, like, who gives a fuck, man? You never ask. You never insult a guy's weed. If somebody offers you a toke, you always accept it, man. Like, it's an honor for somebody to share that part of them with you, and you always say thank you, and if they offer you first hits, then you take it. Otherwise, it's their joint to light, and that's just the way it works. Like, and if I didn't like you, and I was sitting in a circle, I'd say, don't fucking pass it to Joe, man. I don't want him smoking my fucking weed. Exactly, brother. And my young neighbor, I remember when my wife and I first separated in 2002, 2003, and my next door neighbor's daughter moved in about 2 years later, Jill, and she ended up hooking up with this guy, young Tony. That's not his real name. His real name's Greg. Doesn't matter why, but everyone calls him Tony. And at the time, I was still doing coke once in a while. Like, I lost everything. I was down 300 grand. I lost my life, I ran into some old friends who made it snow in the summer, and it was good shit, man. Like, it was like, at least, I would say probably 80% anyways, like, at least. If it wasn't, I'd be surprised, because when I bought it, when I was doing it before, when I got busted for it, it tested that shit tested 85%. And that's why they were so interested in finding out where I bought it. And I don't know, it's the guy, man, I ran into it, you know, where? I don't know, the malls, I guess. I forget. I was high, you know. First rule, man. Never give names, you don't know fucking nothing about nothing. And anyways, I used to treat him. His girlfriend, Jill, was good. She was good people, and she still is. She's really turned her life around. She went to school. She had a young daughter out of wedlock, and you know, not to sound old-fashioned, but you know. And I told her when she told me she was pregnant, I said, it's going to fucking change your life, man. I said, do the right thing. And she's always done right. And Tony has always done right by his daughter. You know, they have their problems, just like my ex and I have our problems. And always will. But that being said, they were both good parents when it came to their kid. But Tony had her for a long time while Jill, you know, did the rave scene, and he, you know, paid his rent selling weed and, you know, other shit, but last I seen him, he was doing pretty good for himself, and I haven't seen the guy in years, but a couple years now, but Jill is on my Facebook. I check on her, and Sky, the daughter. She was, I mean, I remember the day they brought her home from the hospital. And she's so pretty and young, and, you know, she's doing all right. And, which is good. You like to see people do good in their life, you know. But, yeah, I used to go and do rails with Tony. Because I was on disability, well, welfare, because you got to go on welfare in this country. You got to go on welfare, well, in this province anyway. You got to go on welfare first for a fucking year, at least, while they decide. And I had to appeal 3 fucking times. You know, on my last appeal, I had a lawyer paid by the government to sue the government. Check that out, man. And anyway, as stupid as it is, I digress. Yeah, so I got it on the last time. And, but, you know, he used to front me dimes here and there, and I'd kind of jerk him around because I was penniless, destitute, living off, you know. I ended up fucking over my landlord, whose son I rescued from a crack addiction, and the father still went after me, but doesn't realize how much is involved in getting an addict clean. And I got his son. I saved his son from the bank foreclosing on his home by getting another guy, who I used to get coke off of, a home, right? And I rescued his son from the crack dealers. And actually I bailed him out, which is cardinal rule I never would do, but I did, because it was my landlord's kid, and they were, you know, Indian, and they didn't speak good English, and, you know, and you know, when I was hungry, they fucking fed me, man. You know, if I was having trouble on my rent, he would cut me breaks, and, oh, you'll pay me next week, or next month, don't worry. And, like, I didn't pay him rent for, like, 16 months. Yeah, you know. If I ever... I tried to make amends when I came in with large cash, and he didn't want to have no part of me, and okay, respect, you know, but I did try, and you know, but I changed that man's child. He was like 34, and he was into the crack guys for like some serious coin, man, and I used the same methods I got clean to get him clean, and I promised him that when I got on the stand in court, and they asked me if I had addiction issues, and I said yeah, like I was honest, and I was clean at the time. Well, I was smoking pot, doing rails, you know, but you know, I wasn't on trial, he was. Anywho, and I pulled him out of the gutter and cleaned him up, and ultimately he was sentenced to house arrest for a week and released into my custody. Fuck, man. Oh, fuck me. Yeah, and he divorced his wife because they were looking at some serious shit, man. He was like in 30K. In 6 months, 30K into the crackheads. And I worked with all the street, I mean, all the dealers, crackheads, everybody, all the street people know me, unfortunately, or fortunately, you know. I just told my children when they were younger, because my ex was like, well, why do all these street people know you? And it's like, you know, you don't really want to get into specifics, but I just said, you know, oh, because I live in downtown, you know, and you know, if Ed or whatever needs a smoke, I'll shoot him a smoke, you know, like karma, you know, you put it out, good karma, you get back good karma. You put out fucking shit karma, you get shit karma back. It's the way of the universe. And so because of this guy's connection to the local underworld, I became involved. And they all knew that I was an addict, and I didn't do their drugs. I had other issues, but they knew I was cool, and they accepted me. I walked into a crack house. I literally kicked the fucking door in, and everybody's like, what? Yeah, exactly. Law of attraction, man. Birds of a feather. And, you know, that's it, man. You know, I had my own rules of people that I would party with and how far I would go, and, you know, I always stayed away from people with envy. That's the one thing that, you know, I promised myself a long time ago. Actually, when I was with you, I promised that I would never fucking wolves, man. I promised I would never mess with needles, and I never ever did. And I never tried crack. I've never injected heroin, but I've smoked it. I've smoked opium. I used to grow poppies in the garden. I used to milk them because all poppies, best known as the opium poppy, is the one that produces the most. And it's grown in northern Iraq, and in Afghanistan, and in certain areas of Canada, because our climate in certain areas is very reminiscent of their homeland. And that's what it is. It's like marijuana. Marijuana is a cold. Everybody thinks it comes from the warm tropics. It doesn't. It does. But it's all like Mexican brickweed, man. Like, you remember Mexican Red or Acapulco Gold or Maui Wowie? Like, when I say Acapulco Gold, people go like, fucking, yeah, I've heard of that. And it's like, no, if you've only heard of it, you've never, and real honey oil. Remember that, Paul? Fucking Mike Hardy got this honey oil, and
creeper buzz, man. I would love to smoke a good creeper. I haven't had that in, oh, fuck, man. It's like a lifetime. It's been 25 years at least. I haven't smoked honey oil probably since Mike Hardy. Back in the fucking, when him and Karen were still going out when she was, I don't know, like 18 or 19 or 20 or something like that. I know I was about 18 at the time, was the last time I smoked honey oil. Anyways, real honey oil. I know how to make it, but it's, using butane and weed, that's it. But you're basically making a pipe bomb. Yeah, I was going to say, exactly, it's made with butane. But that's actually the best quality honey oil, is made with butane. And rather than ether's too fucking dangerous, man. I've wanted to make it I've made hash using water and ice and various filtering agents and thyme, obviously. It took me 2 days and I made this amazing fucking hash from one of my plants. And to compress it, obviously, because that's how it's made, is under pressure, and I don't have a hash press. The technique I learned was to ball it up in cellophane, and then wrap that in foil, and then wrap that in cellophane, wrap that in elastic, and then wear it in the bottom of your shoe, in your heel, for about 2 or 3 hours. And the heat and friction would cause they're called calyx, the calyxes, to bind, and the cannabinoids would because they're sticky, would bind, and they would form hashish. And it's kind of a crude way, but it was some really good hash. Like, I exposed my ex-wife to some serious, like some growing and experimenting and shit. And she was always kind of peril about it, but at the same time, she was fascinated by it. And she still smokes, although she denies it, and my son doesn't ever, he never admits or denies. He's like the consummate politician. And I respect him for that. But, because I'll say, oh, your mom's probably, because I hear the garage sometimes when I'm talking to him, because it's really loud, and he lives above the garage. And you hear this, and I say, oh, what's that? And he goes, well, that's the garage. I go, oh, your mom must be coming in from smoking a doob, right? And he never says no. He doesn't even acknowledge what I've said. He just keeps on talking, and I love him for it. Let's see. I got some rewards here. What can I do? Ooh, longbow. Ooh, I can build a fucking longbow now. There we go. Ooh, I get to upgrade my two-handed club. Fucking right, man. Ooh, I got 6 points. Now I can open some serious double vicious traps, double clubs, double food, triple food. Ooh, extra health. Oh yeah, I'm taking that. Ooh, 4. Let's think about this. 3. Ooh, you can kill just about anything. And that's 3. Oh, I need the rare plants, man. Sorry, that's a no-brainer. Reveal. Primitive heal. Well, I got some serious plans. Sprint forever. I want the crouching sprint. Oh, I have that. I didn't know that. How much is that? 4 points. Ooh. No, that's dumb. Use longbow while running. Ooh, extra health. Oh, that's 4 points. Ooh, saber-tooth, I can ride it. Ooh, I can learn how to tame them. What's this? Heavy takedown. Oh yeah, that's a pretty important one. Hmm. Yeah, I don't worry so much about the terrain, but that sprint forever would be pretty good. But so would that. See, now I'm at 10% experience. I'm sorry, I gotta be the smart hunter here. I need 600 to change. Cool. Man, that's a wicked looking club. I'm gonna stick with that for now. Blood of war. Alright, that's red. Anything yellow is red. Okay, there I am. Fuck, man, I got a lot of shit to decide. That's fucking like super hard. Oh, here I'll zoom out. That's what I've opened so far. It goes all the way like there. This game is huge. And I got it on sale. It was called a flash sale. I just happened to check it out a couple days ago. Or whatever, about a week ago. And they had it, it was like 2 days left of the sale for from $79.99 to $22.91. So I phoned my son up and I asked him if he would. I didn't have the money, like when you're on fixed income, you gotta fucking manage your money pretty tight. Anyway, yeah, I know it's big, brother. And as you get closer, then you zoom in to see what, like all the different animals that are there, like campfires. There's a spawn. This is, if I die, it'll go to the nearest fire or the bonfire, whichever's closest, right? And you like it's like everything, you know. It's an adventure. It's I got hooked on it when I played Far Cry, the original Far Cry, and then Far Cry 2, Far Cry 3, Far Cry 4, and now there's Far Cry Primal, and uh, yeah, I played it all on my Xbox, and I have Far Cry 4 on my Xbox, and I also have it for my PlayStation 4. But my PlayStation 4, I need to get a new uh, Blu-ray because it's fucked up, and I took it apart, and I don't know, put it back together. I cleaned it and everything, and it still doesn't work. So I'm pissed off. But I can download shit, you know, like that part of it still works, so it's cool. But yeah, so my son sent me $25, and then he said to me, he goes, "Don't worry about paying me back. We'll just call it an early birthday present." And I said to him, like, you know, "You've never bought me a birthday gift. Don't worry about it, son." And he insisted, like, you know, and that's what he said to me. It's like $22, Dad. So I even posted it on my Facebook about a week ago, you know, that I'd like to publicly thank him for it. Yeah, it was. It was a score, and this month is a GST month, so, and that's what I said to him. I said it's a GST month, so I get like $88 extra, right? And so, and my buddy, no, and that's what I said to my buddy too. I go, because he's like, "Oh, I could front you more, man." I go, "Ah, don't worry about it. Like, you know, I'm not greedy." I said, you know, like you know, I'm smart. You know, he's like, "If you want a quarter or anything, like, just let me know, man." It's like, yeah, I like to buy it around $40, which most people pay for a half a quarter. I actually get 4 point whatever grams. Actually, last night was 4.35 for $40. Like, and that's his marketing. That's his shtick. You get what you pay for. $10 a gram, all the way up. No, there's, you know, whether you get a bonus count is at his discretion, but you always get what you pay for. And you know, when you go and you buy a half quarter, it's supposed to be 3.5 grams, right? Which is a half a quarter. But if you actually weigh it, you're lucky if it's fucking 3.1 or 3.2, you know. And most people can't eyeball it. You know, like, I was always good. You know, I can look at it and know whether I got a good count or not, or a fair count. But that comes from experience. Like, I've smoked, fuck, dude, I have smoked. I'm not talking. I'm talking kilos. You know, like, I bet you I probably smoked. My wife and I sat there, and this is probably fucking, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago, and we calculated at that time, because we were getting along for a while afterwards, and then, you know, other shit happened. So, anyways, um, it's not like that anymore. But um, I'd gone over, and I was redoing her backyard. The She had these stone patio, you know, those little pavers. And so I dug the whole fucking thing up by myself with a fucking leg brace on in the summer heat, sweltering, fucking melt your bag heat, and I relayed every fucking stone by hand, personally. And then I fucking got the sand and I broomed it in, you know, and I redid. I wanted to build her a deck, but she didn't have the money, and I didn't either. But I asked for like 9 years, and anyways, so I got like $18,000 back when I finally did, and which was pretty good, you know, when you consider interest and penalties and shit. So that was kind of a score. But fuck, there's got to be something like close to a spawn point that's medium. But yeah, and I gave her like half of it. I just called her up and said, hey, I got it. You know, she helped me file them all. It was funny. One year I actually made $365. And she goes, that's it. And it was from one company that I worked for an agency. I had my own business. I was training forklifts, so everything that year was under TRC Services, which is now defunct and owes a lot of money. So we'll just leave it at that. But anyway, you understand that, Paul. You have your own business. Everything becomes a business and a write-off. And Tim Cochrane professionally, as in TRC, owes about 375 grand. Tim Cochrane, the person, does all. Most people, I'm deceased. Like the fucking 407 highway. They found me 5 years ago because I bought a new phone. I don't know, something like that. Anyways, it was just after, about 4 years ago, it was just after I moved in here. I upgraded my phone, and somehow they found out, and yeah, I got this thing in the mail. As soon as I saw it, I knew who it said 407 on it, and it's like, yeah, fuck you. And I knew what it said. I never opened it, but because I knew what it said. It was just some legal shit, basically. Oh, we're gonna fucking sue you, and fuck you, and we're gonna take your firstborn, and we want DNA, and we're gonna clone you, and you're gonna be a slave forever. And, yeah, it sucked my dick. So I wrote on it, deceased. Like I said, I swear to God, I never opened it, but I wrote on the envelope, deceased. Walked up to the corner store, bought a couple Cokes, and whatever, said hi. I call them Mom and Pops, and said hi to Mom, which is a habit. Every couple days I like to go up to the store, even if I don't buy anything, just to talk to her. And because she works in the early morning till later afternoon. And over the years, you know, she's like, you know, like you, Paul, there's, you know, people that you run into in your life, and she's one of them, and she's really nice to me and gives me free shit sometimes, you know. Oh, these chips out of date. Yeah, you know what? Chips don't have an expiry date, and and I get them for free. So it's like cool. Even Coke. Oh, this past expiry date. That's okay. I'll take it. When she gets bacon and it gets close to expiry date, she'll give it to me, and I bring it home and freeze it. And at one time, I had 8 fucking pounds of bacon in the freezer. I gave a couple to each of my neighbors, so that everybody had bacon for a while. Like, you know, that's how I live, anyways. You got to give in life to get, you know. You got to be willing to put it out there if you expect something back. So, and that's the way I teach my son. And don't be very judgmental, you know. Who the fuck are you to judge me? You're not qualified to judge me. You know nothing about me. Most times. Fuck. Where do I want to fucking go, man? See, I can go home and take this trip using, oh, I should do that because it's some high experience points. Alright, I'm gonna go home to the village. And then I'm gonna take this trip where I have to become the mammoth. You might check your stocks every day. And I'm guaranteed 3 rare things. But most things I have. That's it, man. I remember Karen, when she worked at Pearson Airport, got this shit, brother, from Cambodia. It was black. I had never seen marijuana like that in my entire life. Never before nor since. But it was black. And it smelled kind of like, oh, fuck. How do you put it? Kind of like, not like diesel, but kind of like diesel. And it was really strong and pungent. And unga bunga. And it was some fucking holy shit, man. I was 16 years old, and she'd gone to the same high school for 2 years before me. And then she changed high schools because of the rezoning and, you know, typical bullshit. Anyways, and so everybody kind of knew her. They knew my brother because he graduated, but he was like a nerd. Total fucking Poindexter. And everybody knew that he was a nerd, so they kind of wondered what I was going to be like. And by then, you know, like most people that knew me knew that I smoked. And I was connected, and my sister was cool, and that kind of shit. So all the seniors were buying their weed off of me. And I had fucking a good enterprise going. I was getting most of the times free from my sister, or she'd sell me like dirt cheap, right? Because she was getting good counts, but cheap. And so I was cool on that, and nobody ever bothered me. And everybody knew if you wanted good weed, like others could get weed, but if you wanted good weed or the real black hash, like remember the gold seal stamp, 24 gold carat, freedom for Afghanistan, and we used to call it Afghan gold seal. And there was red hash and blonde Lebanese, but black was, you know, that's what people wanted. And they wanted gold seal. And if you had hash that had the gold seal on it, you could charge premium because people knew what it was. Yeah, man, them were the days. All right, here we go. Now I took this fucking drink, so I'm going on a vision quest. Now I am the mammoth. fucking, I gotta fight these fucking woolly rhinos. And of all the animals I've beat, the fucking woolly rhinos. Oh yeah, gold seal, yeah, man. Yeah, you can't even find black hash now, and if you do, it's so fucking expensive. Like, it's fucking bullshit, man. You know, like, I don't mind anybody making a fair dollar off of me. I really don't. You know, fair is fair, but, you know, don't treat me like I'm a fucking idiot. I hate that, man. Really? I haven't smoked any good black. The only way, in my opinion, to get some like black hash, if you get it, to smoke black hash is, and I gotta say, hot. There is no other fucking if you got black hash, you know, skin toads, butt toads. I hate butt toads because they make you choke the shit out of you. Skin toads are really good. And getting the hash just kind of puts me to sleep, but I like smoking hot. It's really nice stone. But that's how I used to smoke. Always. And I even do hot now. Hot sometimes. That's how my wife. At first she thought I was showed her how to and it doesn't smell very much for very long. So when you have kids, after they go to bed, you know, you do a couple hot nights. So it doesn't really smell very long. Yeah, I haven't smoked good black hash. I had some about 2 years ago. A dude that I know had some black hash. And because I knew him from back in the day, he gave me a really good buy on it. So I took him up on it. But I don't waste my time, you know. I go to the same guy, and he gets about 4 different brands. And he actually holds purple. He holds, I'll even pay, you know, $12.50 a gram, if that's what it takes. You know, kind of thing. And he laughed at me, he goes, like that purple. There's nothing in the world like a Canadian grown purple. Picked at the right time, and proper marijuana should have between 13 and 17, no more than 17, and even that's a little wet. But 13 is just about perfect. When you dry it, you want it to lose 77% of its moisture. That's the proper way to dry it and cure it. And the pot that I got from a buddy of mine who gets it from the dispensary from the government is good quality smoke. The problem is it's fucking like powder. You touch the butter and moisture and when you smoke it, it's really dry and salty, and it wasn't flushed properly. And because it takes about a month to flush all the sulfides and sulfate, salt, mineral salt out of the plant. And properly grown marijuana takes 90 days from seed, which means you plant a seed, it grows, and it turns to seed. It doesn't actually produce seed, it produces bud though, because it takes oh no, I fucking did it, and oh man, fuck me. But, yeah, exactly. And when you look at the crystals, as people call them, they're actually oil glands. They're called calyxes, and they're seed calyxes. And those little tiny things, they look hooked when you look at them under a powerful magnifying glass. And it's actually liquid inside when it's on the living plant. And you know, it's like that's actually marijuana. But the problem is some plants can grow lots of glands, but the strength is not right. When you're growing it, you want it when it's crystal clear with just a slight tinge of brown. You can just sort of tell that it's getting brown. Because the darker it gets, the more CBD. So that's the kind of shit that, you know, you smoke and it puts you to sleep. The clearer, the younger, and the clearer it is, delta 9 tetrahydrocannabinol, which is what we're all after. And but you're right, you know, and people don't understand that when you grow like that, you know, it's hard to grow good marijuana, like genetic-wise, and it's hard to know the exact moment. Like I planted garden 1 year. No, I had 7 plants, and they grew to like 6 months. Nice smoke too. Yeah, the crystals when they dry, my grinder is supposed to collect them, but I don't know how. It's got these screens that are clogged, and you know, I don't want to get it all caught in a toothbrush, but that's Keef, K-I-F. That's what the people in Afghanistan call it, or K-I-E-F in English vernacular. But I had a buddy who used a coffee grinder, and of course it would build up into this white grayish powder. And one day he told me he was cleaning it out and throwing it away. I said, "Are you fucking insane?" And he said, "What do you mean?" I said, if you collect it, I will buy it off you for $12 a gram." And he said, "You're serious?" And I said, "Yeah." And so remember the old chip dip fucking plastic containers? Remember? He had one of them full. I offered him $200 for the whole container, and he took it. I forget how many grams that fucking weighed out to. I don't even think I fucking weighed it. But I would smoke that on top of pot. I had a little tiny Coke spoon. I still have the Coke spoon somewhere. LOL. And I used to take that spoon and I'd pull this container out and sprinkle it on top of fucking marijuana when I was chopping it for a joint, which is my preferred way to, well, now it's the bomb. But back in the day, my preferred way of smoking was, I mean, Paul, you know what I'm talking about. Mike Hardy, Kerry Lawson, Russ, all them people, they all taught me, but especially Mike Hardy. When he got weed, he would dump it on the table and make me roll the entire bag. And he would inspect each joint individually. And for every 5, I think it was every 5 joints I rolled, I got a joint. Something like that, something stupid anyway. And I had to de-seed it, because remember, you had the album and you'd scoop it up and it would fall into the crack between the double album. Remember them days? Fuck, man. Like, these kids don't know nothing. Like, I remember the 70s, man. Back when we still were learning. Once the nerds got involved, pot took right off. And I'm sorry I'm pausing. I'm doing a chop right now. I just used my grinder. Yeah, these kids got no appreciation. But any joint that didn't pass Hardy's inspection took me down a joint, plus I had to re-roll it. So, like I said, so every so many joints, I would get a free joint. Well, every time I fucked it up, right, he took a joint back from me. So it was in my interest to roll good joints. And he taught me how to roll what he always termed, quote unquote, the perfect joint. And it had specific criteria. No pregnant joints, nothing like that, no weekends. It had to be symmetrical all the way around, you know, and you didn't have to suck the shit out of it, and it better not run when you smoke it. Like, you want a nice even burn. Which, that's why the 77% loss in moisture. You want 13%. And that's important, because that helps it burn properly. Like tobacco. If it's too dry, it burns too quick. Anyways. Everybody's education for the day. But, yeah, man. Like, that's a skill. I learned how to roll oilers with one hand. And at one time, I could roll a joint. Me and my buddy John Boland traveled. He had a motorcycle. And we went all across Ontario on this motorcycle. I always put a boom box. I always had two. And this battery's like fucking crazy. But, come on. We always had tunes, so, and I was always on the back of the car. I could roll a joint, always wore my leather. I would undo the leather jacket and make like a tent around my cigarette package, sitting on top of the boom box while we're going down the fucking 400 highway speed on a motorcycle, right? So I wasn't holding on. And sometimes I even had a 12-pack of beer instead of a cigarette package. On top of my knees with the radio on top, and we got tunes going while we're driving, and we would smoke with cigarettes, whatever, while we're driving, and I could roll a joint while I was on the back of the motorcycle, and I would spark it and pass it to my buddy John while we're going up the highway. Oh man, we dumped the bike twice. I have a permanent, what they call an asphalt tattoo on my right elbow. It's permanently black, and every so often I still get grit come out. It was embedded that deep, probably to the bone. But it was my leathers that saved my arm. Otherwise, I would have fucking lost my arm. But we got off after we finished rolling. We're on the on-ramp, and it had been raining, and we've been on a bender for however many days. And we were going to see Hulk Hogan at Toronto Maple Leaf Gardens. We went every Sunday to watch wrestling. And 2 seconds earlier or 2 seconds later, and I wouldn't be here because there was a car just ahead of us and a car just behind us. We had just enough time to get off the fucking road. And we looked at each other and shook it off, and it's like, holy fuck. Pulled the bike up, set it to the side of the road, took our helmets off. I rolled a joint. We smoked it, had a cigarette. He goes, you all right? I pulled a Coke out of my pocket. We shared a pop at the side of the road, finished our toke, finished our smoke, jumped on the bike and went down and watched wrestling. And I remember that night we were coming back and it was raining so fucking hard. I'd never been in rain like that. I mean, it was a torrential downpour and it was bumper to bumper traffic, and I had to be 5 inches of fucking water on the road, and the bike was sliding everywhere, and fuck. Oh yeah. Let's say, Paul, when I die, I don't want to have a funeral, and I have a video on my phone with instructions to my son. I don't want to have a funeral because I think that makes people sad, and you know, I don't want people to be sad because they knew me. I want people to fucking rejoice and be happy and share that, you know, for a moment in time. Yeah, the rain did help. Road rash, man, it's the fucking worst, and it stays with you for life. You know, like I say, it's called an asphalt tattoo, and people go, well, how do you get them? I go, the hard way. But yeah, we had some fucking adventures. So as I was saying, when I die, I told my son I want to have not a funeral, and I don't want a memorial service. I said anybody who does show up. Who haven't we talked to since the 70s? Oh, yeah. I remember fucking some of the shit that we fucking did and some of the things that you did. You know, people say to me, my doctor actually said to me on several occasions, you really should write a book. I said, I've often considered it. I said, but I'm stuck on the title. He says, why? I said, I know what I would write. I said, the book is the easy part. I said, but the title. I said, I'm torn between, like I want to have a subtext, Diary of an Idiot or something, Diary of a Madman, something like that. But I don't know what the first part of the title would be. And he's like, that's all it is. So that's, you know, that's I said, you know, but when I die, I told my son specifically, what I want is people who show up, whatever. I said, but I don't want it to be a sad. I have the songs that I want to be played. Most of them are by Pearl Jam. With Just Breathe being probably, and Black, which always makes me think of my daughter, who I haven't talked to in probably 7 I'm sure I would recognize her, but I'm not sure she would recognize her. But yeah, I said to my son that, I said, whoever shows up, I said, I want them to sit in a circle like we used to, remember, like in that 70s show. It was always a circle, you know, and I said, you know, smoke a joint, hit the bong, preferably use my bong, you know, as a toast to me. And I'm going to try and make sure that I have a little stash of weed put away. I've been slowly trying to do that. Like I have what I call a hot shot in the bottle. Yeah, I know I got smoked there, man. But I would like to ask you to get together, smoke a joint, have a drink, whatever your poison. Well, obviously, but you know what I mean. But I would prefer that people get together, smoke a dope, and tell a story of one of our adventures. As the song goes, by Battleborn by Five Finger Death Punch. I met a million people and I shook a million. And I did that. And, you know, I mean, that's, you know, the best way to remember. Take your buzz and hear, you know, play the big part of your life. Like you said, right, man. You know, I've never found violent people. I've found basically law-abiding citizens. They pay their taxes, they raise the children, right? They, you know, they just happen to enjoy smoking a plant, which our government, I mean, everything on the planet is part of the biosphere. That's why it's biosphere. And we have a sentence in our brain that substance. Why? You know, they're meant for us to I said, and you don't know what I've been through. You don't know why. I said, and I got 30 fucking years on it. Remember? No matter what you think, I got 30 fucking years on it. Anything you think, I said, I've already been there, done that, wrote the fucking book, bought the t-shirt, retired and came home. You know? Hey, I've never been this far. Oh, don't fucking die, man. I need to hit the bomb. Hang on, I haven't even done that. Brother, this is the third one, but this is for you, Paul. In memory of all the shit that we've been talking about. Oh, a double hitter, man. that was for you, Lawson. In memory of your wall token. You remember that when you would hyperventilate? Buddy would blow you asleep. Or you would stand up after hyperventilating. Buddy would slowly blow you asleep. and then two people would compress your chest against the wall, and then hold you for like, I don't know, 20 seconds, something like that. It seemed like a couple seconds. And then I remember this one time I fucking did it, brother. And Hardy and Boo, Robert Davidson, fucking stepped back, and you had, or maybe Johnny Besner, I don't know. I remember it was you and Walter. You fucking, they let go of you. You took 2 steps forward, and just a Cheshire cat, and you have that Cheshire cat. Cheshire cat grin creeps across your face. Your eyes glaze over. I swear to God, brother, this happened in slow motion. It's like, whoa. So another 2.5 steps. Your foot went into the puddle. Your eyes, your legs started to buckle underneath you. Your eyes rolled back in your fucking head, and you went face first, arms at your side, man. No attempt to stop it. Boom! You were out. I mean, you blacked out. Boom! Face first in the fucking puddle. Everybody ran and pulled you out so that you didn't fucking drown. And you're bleeding out of fucking all these cuts in your face. And you're just laying there with this fucking stupid grin on your face, man. And you're like, oh, holy fuck, man. And it's like, your eyes are just glazed over. They're like cherry fucking red. And it was like, that was fucking rip. And sometimes now, when I smoke, I'll get up really quickly and walk into the kitchen. And by the time that my blood pressure equals out, by the time I get to the kitchen, I get the super head rush, and I have to stand there sometimes. And like, it's like my legs start to give out. And there have been occasions where I've actually ended up laying on the floor doing the fucking worm, and, you know, just for a second while you recover. And then it's like all sparkles in front of your face. And it's like, holy fuck, man, what the fuck was that? Yeah, I've done a few times. My doctor says, doesn't that worry you? Knuckles, chin, knees, all gravel as road rash. Yeah, exactly, brother. That's me. Every part of my body has a fucking scar on it. People go like, every part, I go, yeah, even there. I think you can get scars. Telling the girl, how you doing? She's too young, but it's probably out. She's really quite cute. She really was. She was quite cute. How you doing? And she had a lot at first, you know, she was kind of uncomfortable. But, you know, and she had I was in half an hour talking, and I was telling her that standing in fucking line, right? my kids, I mean, I've never smoked in front of my children. I don't think it's right, and I've never done it. I don't care if they know. And I think I've done it twice where I've talked to my son, and he could hear me doing the bong, and I've always said, I'm sorry, man, but I'm going out somewhere and I want to hit this, or like the calls, and I was trying to get it before I went, right? Anyway, and so, you know, I don't care if they know, and I talk about it openly, but still, you know, I'm the father, you don't buy weed from your kid, you know, that kind of shit. You don't get weed for your kid, you know. Like, but be open and honest. Oh man, that was good. Yeah, I noticed. See, I'm more of, you know what, like, my dad was such a food. Like, my mom had cancer, right? And that's also it. Like, if they give you red wine, like, I know all the drugs that they were doing. And I said, you know, if they give you this and it doesn't work, it's not try this, because if none of them I'll give it. Fine. Look at me, and I said, come on, let's be approved. I said, as soon as you walk on the campus floor, I can smell it. I said, like, you know, you should, you know, fucking mom. And she actually said to me, I'll let you know. And she never did, but that, you know, like, I never talked to her about things, you know, I never talked about it with my dad. Like, the fact that, you know, I used to, you know, I haven't told anybody, and she said, and neither will you. And I said, no, that's fine. And she said, no, promise me. And I said, I swear to you. I said, you know, I swear to you, I will never. And I did tell my brother and sisters, but only after my dad passed as well. So, you know what I mean? But, and it kind of pissed them off. But, you know, I said, you know, and they disowned me because I couldn't be there to watch her die. I refused to. And my dad's like, you know, like when I left, she was still on the respirator and everything. And they're like, you know, when you leave, this is the last time you're ever going to see her. And I said, and that's fine. I said, I want to remember her. Not in a bad way. I said, this has been going on for days, Dad. I said, they fucking should have hot shot at her. I said, I'm sorry. I know she's your wife. I said, this is my wife. Think about that. I said, she gave me life. I said, you know, you did my best for her. She gave me life. I said, you know, I can't watch that. I can't. And they all deny it, but they all hold grudges, you know. And it's the sound, my friend, it's like, you know, when you deal with gardens and shit, so you string the hose out, and you know, when the water gurgles, that's how the last sound I ever heard of me. And it's constant. It's constant. Every time I hear it, it's running pipe when I worked with my uncle. Laying prices and shit, laying them down and moving them to the that's no huge, you know, 36 tons, 42 tons, or 200 tons. You know, like we moved the fucking machine. That's what we call it, a 1,000-ton max press. And two men inside the float with flattening the weight coming down alone. Massive render steel. Did it, man. Holy fuck, Tom. But he said to me, always leave yourself an out. Brother, I have never done that, man. You're seeing it as I'm seeing it. All right, well, that certainly deserves a fucking hit. Oh, holy fuck, man. If you don't cough, you don't get on. That's how you know it's good fucking stuff. I don't even fucking know what's going to happen. I didn't fucking read it. I was busy coughing. Only 1 point or whatever it was. Although it was good. Then, oh, that was fucking man. No. Now I remember.
Snygan!
This one-armed guy is gonna fucking get me.
Sakwidosta Snygan! Uhay! Wajcha hapidarwa shashkwa sudam shibuha. Ma haika papidwash balbaldam shibuha.
He lost his arms to a mammoth or something. Or a saber-tooth. But he's really creative. I don't know, actually. He's pissed on me, that's why he poked me.
Mama Fuddy.
And this guy called me Mammoth Feet, but he didn't think I could hunt, but I saved his life from a fucking bear.
Dwayne one. Majish Harris.
And he says I have feet like a mammoth.
Di nawash na scouty Mama Fuddy.
Tigan Sham. Guardo hafchuguari.
Haskawantar. Hafchugwar sancha. Majishgwar. Ku. Tisu haskawantar. Majishgwar. Urusim shalash. Arsh majishayu madde. Barti hinacha.
All right,
Tu
well, I gotta go
haskawantar.
get make a coffee and shit, so I'm gonna stop broadcasting. Thank you for joining me. It was good to chat with you, man. It's like you were sitting here talking to me, you know. But I'm gonna discontinue. If you want, I'll send you a little elbow in the ribs when I'm playing Rainbow Six Siege next, and hopefully, because that's an online game, you play it with other people. So if I broadcast, I think it'll work. I'm gonna try anyways. And I can meet up with a group of guys I play with, and one of them is called Bleed. He's a 49-year-old guy from Wisconsin. I couldn't tell you what his real name is. I just know him as his handle is Bleed You, but everybody just calls him Bleed. Whereas my handle, unfortunately, for the purposes of PlayStation, is timcochrane2286's at gmail.com. But my actual handle is Envenomator, which is like a scorpion, you know, because when you get bitten by wild things, what we call snakes or something that's we call poisonous, you're not stung or bitten, you're envenomated, and hence the name Envenomator. So if you're ever looking, but anyways, cheers, man, and I'll catch up to you. I'll probably be on, I'll play this for a little while longer, but I gotta go make a coffee and have a piss and shit like that. Well, not shit, but shit like that. But that was good, man. Like, you were keeping along with me on the messenger, and I'm telling you, it was like almost sitting chatting with you, so that was a blast. I'm gonna figure it out. I have everything blocked right now, but I can allow certain people to interact with me. So I'll figure out how to do that, and I'll allow you to actually interact with me through this, right? And you can do it through YouTube, but I'll allow you permission to interact with me, and that'll be cool, man, right? I'll figure out how to do that, and I'll grant you permission anyways, personally, so that you can interact anytime you want, all right? Because now that I know how I can do it, like, I see other people that do it all the time. Yeah, you like the name. Cheers, man. Yeah, like, it'd be a blast. I'm just going to go make coffee. I'll probably be on. If you check, just check my channel, and whatever, and because I'll probably be on playing this for a little while longer. Like I say, it's a new game, and there's still so much. I've only done 18%, and you can see how much I've done. So, I mean, the game is massive, which is why I enjoy the Far Cry series, as well as you should see my guys that I've opened in Rainbow Six, and we have a great team. Like me and Bleed, as we've actually gone where it was just me and him playing, and we took on the challenges and beat just the two of us against, you know, a gang of up to 18 or 21 hostages, or not hostages, but terrorists. And I've seen that guy stand there and take on upwards of 10 terrorists single-handedly with a shield and a fucking pistol, and kick ass, man.
Like, he's really good. He's a lot of fun to play with, and he's got a fucking absolutely amazing sense of humor. And they all call me that crazy Canadian. And they know that I smoke because I do the same thing. Like, they all laugh and they go, "Oh, I guess we know what Tim's doing." And it's fucking priceless. Yeah, man, right on. I love that. I love that. 3 p.m. coffee. All right, cheers, brother. I'll catch up to you soon, man. I'm out of here in a few seconds. All right, man. Cheers. Bye.